to pick your brain. They just want to use your time and your mindset to help them advance something that they've not told you about. Have you seen that?
This is again very normal. They want to see if you can actually do what you say you can do. It's part of the whole process, but that's inquiry forms on our website.
Okay, so you move
You want to
your
make an expression of
intake.
interest. Yeah, you want to, I mean, you I always find that we shouldn't make our business process an obstacle for them to do business. If anything, we should make our business process a facilitation to them to do business. So
Yes.
you go on our website, you type an inquiry, an expression of interest, a letter of intent, send it over to us, and then we can move forward. If you haven't done that, then you don't
I
hear anything
love
back
it.
from me. You
It's the
don't hear
same
anything
thing.
back from me.
It's the same thing. Nazero.com, we have our intake form. We have to filter those requests so that we are allocating time and resources to genuine, because it's the if you want to be a part of international trade, like this is just minimal requirement. This is a long journey. So if you're not able to get over the first hurdle of an intake form, it just signifies you're not ready for the long
You're not
journey.
ready.
You're not
You're not
ready
ready.
because
Yeah.
this is real grinding, like it's work. It's building an industry, it's building a business, it's export. And for me, one of the other things I've had to do is to the School of International Trade is a lot of people. I also recognize the side that genuinely wants to learn, okay, genuinely wants to grow. And we've created a space for those types of people, right? Where we're actually seeing results, where when they come to the platform, they're even buying and selling from each other. So there are transactions where we facilitate, but there are also transactions that because we've supported people with education and we've helped them structure, they're actually doing business and engaging without us, but they do it on our platform as well. So those are the
Yeah.
things, so this is just fascinating to me because not everybody gets this, but you and I were like, of
Yeah.
course, of
We
course.
do this. I think for people who are just curious, that's what the
Curious.
membership is there for. They'll just by themselves, they'll go talk to our members and they can go network for themselves. That's great.
Yes,
But
yes.
if they actually want to do business, then they need to understand that there is a natural process of doing business.
Thank you.
That's what the inquiry forms are there for. That's what the letter of intent is there for. That's what the terms of reference are there for. Go through that process, initial process. We vet each other. I mean, obviously they'll think that they're vetting me, but at the same time, are they going
Of
to be
course.
wasting our time? We are consultants. You don't like. It's like a lawyer. When you go to a lawyer, you don't go to him and ask him. So I'm thinking about doing this case. What advice can you give me? Oh
No, you,
no,
you you have to sign up to be their client.
exactly.
That still
So
happens today. When somebody, I'm telling you, like you and I could go on and on because it's like a mirror. We're seeing the same thing. Where the person said, Toyin, the last time we spoke, you said you were going to do XYZ alpha. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Time out. In my reply, I said, our conversation was only preliminary and exploratory. If you want to follow the process, you have to have an agreement in place. Like, I'm not going to
yeah,
put in any work for you when you're not my client.
yeah.
Like,
I think educating them about what we do is probably the next step. And
yeah,
I think that's why we have all these events, all these summits. That's why we engage online so much. We're trying to tell them what we do and the amount of work that requires to get that done.
mm,
That's that's really important. When we go to these events and when we are invited by these dignitaries to
mm,
explain the markets, these things cost money.
yeah,
So absolutely, we have the support of the various governments, but the hotel still costs. The,
hmm
the the travel there still
travel,
costs.
yeah,
The uh,
your
the uh,
time,
the
your time, your
time,
experience, everything.
the time, because when we're talking about international trade, it's not
Exactly.
just one city, one town. We're getting requests from people all over Africa. That's
Yeah,
a massive market.
yeah,
All over China, that's a massive market. And now we have to pick and choose which ones are the most profitable. And that's really difficult. I'm not perfect. I make so many mistakes picking the wrong choices or choosing with something that's really viable, but it's going to take 1 year, 2 year, 3 years before it becomes
To
profitable.
exceed, yeah. I think,
So
yeah, I think one thing maybe I could suggest or advise would be building your pipeline, right? Your
absolutely.
maturity pipeline, which is what I'm working on, where there are people ready today, but we're also going to grow people to be ready tomorrow, next year, 2 years
Oh,
from now.
absolutely.
But we're
Oh,
going to keep
absolutely.
them, going to keep them educated, entertained within us, my universe. So we have the Nazaro universe. We have the
Absolutely.
trade network. We have the exporter listing. We have the TV. We have, I mean, TWA Summit, AFCFTA Roundtable, on and on and on. We have various platforms to keep people engaged wherever they are at, knowing that over time, these groups of people would mature,
Exactly.
right?
That's right.
So the
You
peak,
can't write them off. Absolutely.
no. We're growing people to be ready, right? So that's 2021 for me. You're going to see me do a lot of teaching. I've structured my calendar. I've shifted my calendar more. And before we joined, I was telling you things around events. The way we do events will be more on demand, streaming it. Because what we found is as people are so overwhelmed and so busy right now, the old world of bringing people together, spending 6 months to promote something and bring them together, it's not happening anymore. So we're building content that people can consume on their bed, Friday, Saturday night at their own will, because people are juggling just so much today. So I recognize that. So we're taking time, we're saving time from those engagements, and we're investing it in my community, the trade network. So membership, like we now have weekly programs, training from e-commerce training to branding training to export development, AGOA training, ASCFTA facilitation training. Now, a lot of times people don't know they need this training. They just want results. But I tell people what you desire, the business results you desire is on the other side of preparation and work and relationship and network. So this middle point, I think, is what people struggle with. And
I
I'm
think
I'm so glad to hear you actually also confirm that it's the same.
I think that's why we work so well together. I may not have time to do that, but I'm more than happy to recommend them to yourself.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
I
and you've
think
done
we,
that.
we, we did so with the Liberia Forward project. That was
Yes,
perfect.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And part of what I discussed with him, I mean, I know now we're public, but anyway, was also the team he was taking into Liberia. I was assessing them, their readiness level. And part of what I challenged him was to make sure they prepare, because part of what happens is people go in unprepared. And when they encounter one or two hurdles, they back out. They're like, what? I'm like, no, this is
But
due
yes,
diligence. They back out. So part of
from
what I'm
both
telling
sides.
people is
Yeah.
prepare for it before you go in.
But this education process, it's all part of that process. I think that if we are better prepared from the very beginning, understanding these problems, and understanding the costs behind these problems, then I think it's much easier when the project actually starts.
Mhm.
They are, you can say, well, we did that already, so you're
Yes.
comfortable. You don't need to pay me that. You don't. It's going to cost you 1 million during that event when
Yes.
it actually happens. But it's, you pay that small
Prevention.
amount. Yeah, you're paying for the prevention costs now.
Yeah, but for
You
people,
won't have to
I mean,
deal with it.
in sales and marketing, it's easier. It's a lot harder to sell prevention than corrective measures, right?
Yeah,
When
it's a
when,
pain
when that
point, right?
when that crisis happens and people really need you and they're ready to pay anything, like that's that's one of the rules of marketing. Like it's easier to tell people there's fire on the roof, let's rescue you, than to say, hey, why don't you learn? Why don't you arm yourself with skills? Let me teach you what I know working for the world's largest retailer. No, people be like, no, no, Tony, we'll figure this out ourselves. And then they spend 1 year, 2 years, and I've seen this happen. After 2 years, they come right back,
I was
and I
just about
tell
to
them,
say that. They come right back when
and
they
they've not
hit
made
those.
progress.
That's it. That's it.
It's
Well, it's
sad.
just like,
It's sad.
well, then that's when the prices go up. So,
Yes, you jack it up. Wow, this is fascinating. We've seen comments here, John. Let me show you a few of the
sure.
viewers.